Hello, bots. Well, I guess you noticed me if there's that many bots here. Okie dokie. We are continuing with this. Let's see, first let's say something in the chat. Hi. Blow some kisses. Have a cup of tea with me. I'd love it if you do. Make a wish while you're here. And don't forget, the whole reason we started is the royal egg. That's not the whole reason we started, but that is the reason for that particular emoticon. The royal egg comes from the first Numeris story. Numeris being my first science fiction fantasy novel that was published. Not the first one I wrote, but the first one that was published. It took a long time to get it done. I interrupted myself constantly, like for marriage. But eventually, I had the time and space during the day to devote at least 4 hours a day of writing. And so I did. When I came to the second book, that one just poured out. I was doing at least 8 hours a day of writing, and I finished it in 3 months, which was a lot better than 26 years. And now I'm getting ready to write the third one. And I've been thinking on it and thinking on it. And it's exciting. But I'm not ready to start writing it down. I mean, I've written a bunch of notes on it and all. You have to work a skeleton out. You've got to know where you're going if you want to get there. But I haven't actually started writing the story itself, except for the first chapter, to establish where I want to start the third story. Hey, how are you doing, my dear? Adam? Well, I have been weird myself. I have to have hernia repairs done. Plural. Popped another hernia. So it's been an interesting week. And I'm hoping they can fix both of them, but they may not be close enough together. How are you coping? I'm looking at the chat right there, where I can actually write back to you. Hey, Iron Bear. How are you? This must be a good time of day for you, huh? Daylight savings for us here in Connecticut. So it's 6:43 p.m. for me. Almost midnight. So, are you loving your new home? All right. I'm happy for you. I know, I love the lamp that I got for the bedroom. I actually got it for the living room, but it's not LED, and I don't want to waste the electricity on something that might be on for a long time, like entertaining or eating. So I put it in the bedroom so I can just enjoy the subtle lighting. It's got a rheostat, so it gets brighter or darker. And every time I turn that on, I just mess with the lighting a little bit, and I look at the room. It's like I get this thrill of joy. It's like, this feels so good. I love this lighting. This is just perfect. And yeah. So it feels really nice to be able to finally do that. And I've got, although you can't see it, there's shelves over here. They're empty right now. But all those boxes that you also can't see are going to be emptied out. And hopefully next week or so, we'll be doing rocks instead of doodles. Plays music? My best friend is mad at me, or what is the we/e? Sticky, that is fascinating. And Iron Bear, if your best friend is mad at you, swallow your pride and ask why, what you can do to help it, stop it, change it, because it's your best friend. So the speaker is inside the light bulb and it plays music and the vibrations don't pop it, huh? That's pretty cool. I saw some lights that you put up. I guess they're LED lights, and you can program them, and they react to whatever music you play. Didn't you have something like that too? I have speakers for this computer, and I am in awe. I can turn them up enough so I can actually hear people. Yes, I'm doing rainbow stuff, but I'm doing it different, spreading the colors out. And then we'll bring in, some fairy dust. Oh, I gotta tell you, ow. Oh, yeah. Well, I'd see where it'd be hard to, because we've been going through like 2 years of COVID. How many parties can you possibly be doing during the COVID issues? Now, I'm going to have to get lighting for this living room. This is the art light is the only light that I have at all for the living room. The bedroom now has a nice light. And because I'm not doing anything in the bedroom that I need a strong light for, it's fine. Because at best it's 3 40-watt bulbs. And they're the antique style, so they're warm yellow, gold. Oh, she said, don't talk to me, and I said, what kind of person you are, let her cool off. Oh, yes. Yes, communication is absolutely essential. You cannot assume they understand anything. And that goes male and female. But letting somebody cool off is a good idea as long as you don't let it go more than 24 hours, because then that's a rift. Wow, Sticky. That's awesome. I'm surprised. I wouldn't have thought that. So Iron Bear, this she sounds like she's a bit attached to you, or wants to be. Is that right? Mm-hmm. You didn't make plans. She made an assumption, so she now sees you as a we. Where did you fuck up? I will... Well, I don't know what that means. Lemuria. Oh, summarize. Thank you. Sorry, I couldn't. I failed to Taiwanese. Yeah, if you didn't make plans to hang out and she's feeling pissy at you because you had other plans when she did bring up something that she wanted to do, it means she was making an assumption you were free. And that if you were free, you would of course want to be with her. I like that. Thanks to I somewhat speak English myself. It doesn't sound like you really did, other than she thinks you're a we. And expects you to be more available than perhaps you have the desire to be. You may need some dysfunction training, like watch Seinfeld. Every single character on the Seinfeld show is wrong. I would encourage that, Sticky. I think that's great. And you should have your eyes open and hopefully find lots of guys who catch your eye, and also hopefully among them will be those who would like to reciprocate. Yeah, I was watching Seinfeld because Rich really liked it and he thought I would find it very funny, and I did find some of it very funny, but the more I was watching, the more I was getting disturbed by these people. It's like, these are very, very, very unhealthy people, the way they treat men and women, their assumptions, all of that is like, wow. Oh, really? Then she definitely shouldn't be like that. Yeah. So maybe she has changed her opinion of you. Give you a water clear crystal for a necklace? It's really funny that you should bring that up, Sticky, because I found one of my old bracelets today in unpacking. And this week I will finally reach the boxes that have my beads in it. Oh, well, that's not cool. She treats you like a brother and then gets pissy with you because you weren't available to entertain her or entertain with her. Share entertainment. I think nothing you could. Well, I'll work on that. I'll focus on vapors. Because that makes me think of Tin Man movie. It's one of my favorites. Reinterpretation of The Wizard of Oz. So definitely Iron Bear, since she's not girlfriendy and she's made it clear that it ain't going that direction, you're in the friend zone with her, then definitely let her cool off. And since you did not make plans that included her, oh well. If she wants your company, she's going to have to make more of an effort to communicate that. And then you can decide if you want that. I mean, do you want to waste time with someone who's going to keep you in the friend zone? I don't do wire wrapping. I cannot help you with that. I cannot solder. I no longer have a soldering iron or solder. I have elastic and beads. But if you want it professionally strung on silk, that's not my gig either. I have, in fact, a few $1,000s in opals I need restrung. Oh, well, see, that's the thing about crystals. They make up most of the surface of the earth. Everywhere you go, you're standing on crystals. No way to escape that, in fact, unless you're in the water, and then under the water is more. So it's like, what do you expect of them? All those different minerals, all that radiation. What is water clear? Like Herkimer diamonds? Now you are in the area of wonderful clear crystals, some of the best in the country. Oh my God, you too, huh? We have nothing out there right now. It's supposed to rain soon, but we did have a little snow. We had a lot of wind, and then we had a lot of snow, but that didn't last because then we got rain. It's been wild weather. But you get more wild weather than we do out there. This is New England. New England is accustomed to wild weather. Like Mark Twain said, if you don't like the weather, wait a few minutes. Oh. Well, there's vortexes all over the place. There's 7 famous ones, I guess, you say, in Sedona. And you know what? When energy is moving around, you can feel the ley lines. You can feel water moving underneath you. I can feel this building, something moving under this building. Hello, Coolio. How are you? Good. Well, Sticky, if you're interested in crystals, you definitely want to look at your map, your state map. There's awesome stuff in your area. Like you said, there's some places you can go out and just sit there on a park bench and look around long enough and you're going to see these little crystals. They're all over the damn place. We do. know, Iron Bear. It sounds to me like she has more of a thing for you in one way or another than she is letting on. And that sounds a bit passive aggressive and bullshit. I know what kind of person you are. Don't talk to me. Yeah, you know, I'm sorry, I don't put up with that kind of shit. That's like grade school level stuff. I know that men can be kind of dense sometimes. They don't realize a lot of shit right in their face. And I know that because I was married to a couple of them. But that kind of thing is you had plans with a girl. And first she's like, oh yeah, well, good luck. And then it's like, huh. Not you, Sticky. Iron Bear is interested in females. I see what kind of person you are. That's a bullshit statement. I see what kind of person you are. That's like, huh? What kind of person am I? Did you want to go out on a date with me? And you made it clear you're not interested, so, you know, what do you want from me? I'm getting busy. What color, Sticky? And dyed is D-Y-E-D. That other one is like it died, like it fell off your head, and not a fun way. Well, okay, Iron Bear, how do you feel? You're probably typing right now, so I'll say it, but you can, if you remember, you can add it too. How do you feel about her being pissy after, you know, she's basically put you in the friend zone, so there's no hope for anything more than that? Do you want more than that? Would you like something to happen? Or do you want to keep her in the friend zone too? You know, be clear on how do you feel about her? Oh, that sounds really pretty, Sticky. It sounds very fun. I can't wear pink in my hair. It looks terrible. It's blue. Blue is my color. Oh, good. That's always good for cheering up the mood. You know, get a little down. Do your hair. While Iron Bear is typing, Sticky, Mr. Sater showed me, well, that's classy. It doesn't look garish. If it's all too much, it looks tacky. A little bit looks stylish, a little, you know, subtle. But it's clearly there. Yeah, years ago is years ago. How could you do that to me? You put me in an awkward position of having to think about how I feel about you. So now you're just... So all this time you just occasionally do things? Well, Sticky, that's ideal because you just want to be in the right light. Ah. I've had friends that have done wild things, but they do it as a comb over. So when they're out, you know, with the straights, they look straight. And then when they're out with, their pals, they comb it back over and then you can see all the colors. So it's years ago, Iron Bear, that you told her that you liked her, you wanted to date her, and basically she burned that bridge. So since then, excuse me, she's just been like an occasional friend? Is she always a friend? Why does she think that you would reserve time for her, and what's the fuck is wrong with her getting upset with you having a date with someone that's not her? That sounds like jealousy. Like she wants to control you or control your connections, without actually getting too involved. I'm reserving you because, I know you. You're safe. But I don't actually want to do anything with you. So, don't get too close or involved. You know that the expression, don't scare the straights. Aloha. No, it's not friends with benefits. There are no benefits, right? So what the hell do you think is her problem? You're educated guess, so you've known her for years. She goes off on you today, or the other day, because you actually had a date, and we're not going to be available. Let me strange you out. Well, right now you're the only gay in the room, or bi in the room. So. And for you, I will tell you, Pan showed me the funniest Christmas holiday musical, gay musical, basically a drag show that I've ever seen. I laughed. I fucking laughed for an hour. It was so good. And I do not know all the names. I can't remember, but I will learn because I'm gonna have to get a copy of it. Or I'm gonna just reserve it so I can see it. It's hold on, Twitch chat. I have to log back and it keeps knocking me out. Well, she was bored and lonely, and you weren't around. And now she's got to come to terms with her feelings. I'm trying to get to my chat so I can write it in. There is a drag queen named Jinx, and she's got a partner. I can't remember her partner, but they wrote a absolutely fabulous musical, a drag show for the holidays. And I don't remember it, but it's like a Christmas special. But if you look up Jinx on YouTube and Christmas special, you will probably come across it with her partner. They were absolutely hilarious. Oh my god, it was funny as fuck. I did not know of them before. Oh, I can't allow that just because of the word bitch. Although I think that's funny, bitch pudding. I don't only want... Well, this is not people for you to talk with. You've got to see this musical because you will be laughing your bloody ass off. It's worth it. I mean, I don't need it to be the holidays to watch a Christmas thing. But it was really... Those guys are so talented. They were such good musicians and actors, and they were very funny. Jinx is the one that is more like the nature, into crystals and all that. No, I understand. They all have, stage names that are meant to be provocative, and, it's drag. So they put on a hell of a good show, and I will definitely make that part of my Christmas watching now. So look up Jinx and holiday specials or whatever, and you should come across her and her partner. Jinx is not into Christmas because Jinx is Jewish, and etc. etc. But also is a totally different character than the guy that's doing all the jolly stuff. Is freaking hilarious. She is. Oh, and of course they're just wonderful. Oh, the costumes. Oh my god. It's seductive. You. Yeah, these are better names. And yeah. Ah, cool. I don't have TV, and I'm not up to date on, you know, who's who. I come across stuff here and there because of some of the music I like, and it turns me on to other music. So I get turned on to people who are like really talented, just, because of suggestions. But in this case of Jinx and her partner, it was our own Pan who saw it, and he said he has to let me see it because it's hilarious, and it definitely was. We had both had time enough to watch it yesterday, and I was just pissing my pants. Lorena! Oh, I'm chaotic and crazy, but I'm in my new home now. That sounds fun, Sticky. I got a notice saying that you were around. I haven't seen any tweets though. I mean, I follow you on Twitter, and I haven't seen anything come to my attention lately. Well, it's late for Lorena, isn't it? Chaos is okay as long as you're all right. Staying busy is good. I just finished moving, just got last set of shelves put up yesterday, and now I've got to unload the rest of my boxes, finish unpacking. Ah. Okay. Are you still doing art? After I get everything unpacked, the next thing is going to be some rock work. Yes, and this time it's mine. And I got the penthouse, they call it. It's a corner apartment, top floor. Nobody on any side of me. One side is a stairwell, the emergency exit. I'm the furthest away from the elevator. Ah, okay. Well, I've been just doing doodles because, my life's been up in the air for quite some time now. But now it's finally settling down. So, and after I settle, I'll be getting surgery. I have a couple of hernias that need repair. That was this week's news. So every time you think you're getting your balance, something else knocks you down. But then you gotta get up again. It's kind of like life's a roller coaster. But from chaos shall come order. It has no choice. Eventually, that's what happens. I know. I know. You do have the advantage of a good brain on your, in your head. You have the intelligence. You can grasp concepts a lot of people miss. Of course, seeing more than others can often lead to some depression, but I'd rather be aware and occasionally a little depressed than oblivious, because I'm trying to get rid of the people in my life that are kind of oblivious, How much time do I have left? Not much. I want it to be interesting and good and fun and loving and sweet, even if it's chaotic too. I love a parade. I wouldn't do that, Iron Bear. I wouldn't baby her, and I would definitely not chase after her. Oh, God. Attacked by what? What? With what? Oh, my God. I have the arthritis throughout my spine, neck, and I've got the scoliosis. I understand. It's painful. But having an up attitude does help that with that pain. But the hernia, yeah. Dolphin Mermaid was here and gave good news about how easily the hernias can be repaired and how quickly you get back on your feet. But attacked? That's an emotional as well as physical thing. Oh my God. Oh my God. A poor woman, like she's not been through enough. So is your brother staying with you right now to help? And did they get the bastards? Oh, they must have, right? Stolen motorcycle. That's how they would know it was a stolen motorcycle. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's only been 10 days. Yeah. I'll be 68 on Thursday. They got away? They'll get them. They'll get them. Weird. I'm your mother's age. Almost. Yeah, she's gonna be stiff and hurting for another week at least. Oh yeah, well, no, I'll focus on that for you. Don't worry about it. You're turning 12 in May. You're older than me. Your mom will be all right. But bruising, it's a process. It takes a while. The bruising lasts longer than the pain from it, thank goodness. Do you have, I'm sure the doctors, if they have access, we have over-the-counter stuff that is really excellent for that. It's called Voltaren gel. It's chemically, it's diclofenac sodium. It's a gel. Well, wherever there's no bruising and it hurts, like she's getting aching, then soaking in warm water and putting lotion on her, rubbing lotion into her hands, that will help as well. The rubbing the lotion into all those sore joints will help her circulation. No, I know. I'll write it down. Um, there's a brand name called Voltaren. So if you look it up, there should be an equivalent in your country. There's gel, not a B on the end of it, just plain gel. Yeah, that's why I said look it up under Voltaren and then look it up under diclofenac sodium. It's an anti-inflammatory that goes through the skin instead of having to swallow it. So you can put it right where you need it, only a little bit. It has instructions, but it's very good. You have to use it a few times before it starts to really get in and take effect. But once you have become kind of acclimated to it, you just need a little teeny bit, a little spot, like nerve endings, and it's like, oh my God, that gives you... Sometimes when I have a nerve problem, one dose can hold me for a couple of days. Yeah, I can't take all that shit either. So the external stuff is the way to go. You're welcome. See, old ladies. We know shit. But everything, different countries have different things. But the chemical is basically the same. So, and if it's over the counter now, it's very likely there's some form of it available in pretty much anywhere. I'm glad I did. It just happens that with chronic pain, I have tried lots of different things and I cannot take the pills. They just do a terrible number on my stomach, and they're also rough on the liver, kidneys, all that. So but if there's no bruising, let's say on her hands, if there's no bruising on her hands, any hand lotion will be good to rub in. Just that it's very gentle, it's very calming. It's psychologically and emotionally good to do something soothing like that. And as soon as you can relieve the emotional burden a bit, the physical burden is also lifted. Yeah, any hand lotion she likes, any body lotion she likes, just, a little bit wherever. And of course, you'll have instructions for the Voltaren. Basically, it's like, because it goes through the skin, you put it on very clean skin with a clean hand and wash your hands right after using it. So, but the instructions will be there. So it's just really good. And here we can get it over the counter now. So there must be something similar that will be available to you for that. But you probably need to go to sleep. I'm not trying to get rid of you. Yeah, usually when something goes out of patent and any company in the world can buy the license to create it, that's when you find it everywhere. Well, do not try until you're ready. I found, I got, I've got the Kindle. But when I'm like trying to really go to sleep, I can't play anything that might excite me or make me anticipate things. Like, I can't play SimCity, even though it's my #1 game. I can play something like Scrabble, but I can't play something like a Bubble Pop. Nothing where you're going to get more heightened awareness. And I found that Mahjong has been working really good to help me wind down, and thousands of boards. It's all free, and I can play that on the Kindle and just be ready to pass out. So that's been useful.
Also, what helps me go to sleep is a good thought. I know it sounds silly, but my meditations. I have some digital cards, and before I had digital cards, I had the physical cards. And I would pick a card, something to meditate on, and sit there, look at the image for a little bit, and read the message, think about it, and imagine, okay, this is what I'm trying to exemplify, this is what I want my life. And then as soon as you relax thinking about what it's instructing you to do, you pass out. I pass out sometimes from that so fast that I don't even have a chance to put the Kindle down. I wake up and find it next to me, or that I haven't moved at all and it's sitting on the pillow. Oh, you don't have to apologize for that. I'm still an Olga, I'm still here for you. I just felt it would be better at this point to work with people who are, first of all, if they know me well enough like you do, you can bring up whatever that you need to hear. I mean, you want to ask about something or talk about something, then that's what I'm here for. But if you inhibit yourself, then you don't. There's no need for that. I can handle listening to other people's problems without taking them into my gut and where they keep me awake at night. And you only have so many places that you can turn for expressing things like that. So I understand that as well. So, I got tired of people who want advice but never take any. And I can't make people take advice, and it's not my job. But if you ask me for it, and I go out of my way to help, not you specifically, Lorena, of course. I'm talking about the reason I've changed the format. But people don't even, they just want to suck a lot of energy out of me, and they can't even be bothered leaving a tip for me, or, It's like, yeah, you can't subscribe, you can't leave a tip, but you will come here every single show and ask my advice, and then do absolutely none of it. So it's not about me getting any money from them, those kinds of people. It's a double frustration. It's like, you don't have to take my advice. I don't have an ego risk here or anything. It's my time, though. My time does count, because there's a lot of things I want to do for myself before I die. And I want to be compensated one way or another. Like a person does something and changes their life, and then I'm really happy for them, and that's compensation enough. That's awesome. Well, that's like, it showed that he's still with you. You worked, you did something together. That's awesome. And yeah, the more stressed we are, the more pain we feel. The more depressed we are, the more pain we feel. The angrier we get, the more pain we feel. So we do need to learn to recognize that connection so that we can find ways to be more gentle with ourselves. Because, we're always going to have something going on in life. That's just life. Up and down and up and down. And it's never steady, one thing for very long at all. I think we're blessed with brief periods of stability. But some things are just, people think they're stable and they're really just, you're not really stable, but you're just been so good at ignoring the reality. And you feel kind of stable, but you've made zero progress, or you've created nothing, or you've moved ahead not at all. Well, my father's been gone a long time, but he too left me. Well, he visited, so that gave me a gift nobody could have given me. But still, even though I know everything's really all right, I know it intellectually, and most of the time I know it everywhere in my spirit. I know I'm safe. I know I'm really secure in that. I know I'm not in any kind of danger when I pass over. I'm more concerned about the mess I might leave behind me, But I still, at night sometimes when I feel that stress or that anxiety, like, where I've been driving myself crazy over my health results, all the scans and blood work I had last week. The results were really kind of discouraging. So I have a deck of cards, a digital deck, that when I want to talk to my dad, you've got a message for me. It's like, it's always right. It's always the message. Yeah, but that's an awesome thing to recognize. And listen, it doesn't matter what the world is doing as much as what matters is what you're doing with yourself. And when you accept who you are and you can appreciate you for who you are, that's fucking awesome, honey. That's what we're all looking for. And that's when you have less pain, and just basically it's like, this is how it is. This is what I am. This is who I am. This is what I want to do. This is where I want to go. This is who I want to be. All those things, they have to also be a little flexible and be ready to change with the environment. I think we get a great deal of peace from accepting ourselves. I wish I could do it again. When it happened, I wished it on everybody. I said, if everybody could just have this happen once in their life, just once in their life, they would never be afraid again. But it's not true. The thing is that over time, your brain will kick some of that out. It's like, was it real? But see, I know in my guts it was real. I don't have any doubt about it being real. But the feeling of having that experience, it's been many years now. 1999 was when that happened. So time passes and there's distance. So even though I know my father's there, we can't communicate the same way. I'm not in the right place for that. He communicated in time that was unique to me. Just the right space, just the right time, just the right amount of aloneness and sobriety even, But I would suggest anybody who wants to connect with loved ones who are still there, they're just not physically in your world. They can't hear with ears because they don't have ears, but they feel you and you call them with your vibration. So when you want to connect with them, they can connect with you. But when you're connecting or trying to connect, when you're feeling a lot of emotion, which is usually when we reach out for those people who are not there, that heavy emotion, whatever that emotion is, whether it's love or anger or fear, whatever it is, emotion by itself, it creates its own kind of barriers that have to be they become hurdles. So the thing is that once you do connect and you feel that connection, it's like an electric line and you end up like buzzing with that energy. You never forget that.
It's very much like I've read described as a kundalini, the snake unwinding, the energy moving from one chakra through the entire system. It's kind of like that. It's very electric. But if everybody could have that experience once, they would know that their loved ones are not really dead. And they would talk to them like they're not really dead. You can't hear them the same way they can hear you. But again, it's not what you're saying with your mouth that they hear. It's what you're feeling through your heart and your mind. With pictures, images, the feeling of love, of calling them. You may not hear him now, but he hears you. He hears you, and he knows. Usually when we feel the most emotional when we're thinking of them, it's usually a good clue that they're real close, like right there. We find ourselves crying with like, I miss you, or a joy, like I can sense you, I think it's you. That's real. That's a high that cannot be duplicated with a drug. So, don't lose faith that can happen. But in the meantime, if you do not feel like there is a direct connection, pretend there is one. Or pretend that you have a guide or an angel or another relative, that's making a bridge for you or delivering a message for you. And delivering messages back and forth. If you relax, you can feel these things opening up in you. Eventually, honey, you'll have the right image. Something will click, and you will know your dad's right there. And in that instant, if that's what grace is, that moment. Yep, it's that moment that you just know that he's right there. Once that happens, even if you can't hear a voice, it doesn't matter. You will know that the universe is winking at you. It's letting you know through a synchronicity, through a coincidence, that you stumble across something that brings, like coming across the list. That is your father winking at you. Look, I'm still here. I don't have the ability to write a note to you, but I did once. I did have this. If I could, I'd be writing to you right now. But instead, just know this shows I care. I'm still around. And Dad doesn't talk to me the way he did, but even my mother, and my mother and I we had a weird relationship, but this deck that my father speaks to me through, it's a mandala deck made with stones. For some reason, my father I got this Dad, I need you night, and that was the message, and I got the urge to just open up that deck, and I did. And it opened up to the card Divine Father. Now, this is like a private joke between my father and I, because I mistook him for divinity. That was the first thing I said. You my father or God the Father? Because the enormous love that came from him was mind-blowing. Well, big hands, he knew how to use his hands. See, all those things make up what he was to you while he was here, but he's still there. He's still around. We just have to let go of our insistence that heaven and hell and everything works in a certain biblical way, because it's not true at all. It's much better than what they have in those books. Way better. So, I don't have any fear about that.
But anyway, my father showed up. It was Divine Father, right? Well, when my mother crossed over last summer, I was like, I don't want to talk to you, Mom. Not now, not yet. But then one night it was kind of like that. Like, all right, Mom, are you there? Is there something, I feel like you're there. I know you've got something to say or what. And I decided to go ahead and I clicked the same deck. And it came up Divine Mother. Universe laughing at me. Yep. That's cool because then you end up smiling, you continue, and that's probably what he did too. When he was tired, he just smiled and continued. So, they're with us. They're with us. So my mom and I have been talking a little bit. And she's put things there for me to look at, and reflect on, and it's been good and healing. So I wouldn't say we have the same relationship that I have with my father. They're completely different kinds of people, or were. But I know that love never dies and that we're all connected. And even the fact that, you are younger than me and you are halfway across the world, I know that we're connected and we will make a connection after I cross over. And then when you cross over, and et cetera, because we work in groups, we work in teams. So everybody I help here, I am already connected with. And others I've agreed to help, but just like you, we agree in return for the energy that we use, that we will also give back to the rest of the plan. We're always part of the plan, everybody's plan, not just ours. So that's why it's so important that we celebrate other people's successes instead of being jealous. We should be happy for everybody succeeding. We should be happy when other people are happy. We want everybody to be happy. We're all brothers and sisters. We're all husbands and wives. We are all connected. So it's important. It's important. But, everybody's doing something different. What's important for me at this point in my life is not the same as what's going on with your life. You have your particular, to you, goals and challenges. And I have my challenges. It's like, the thing is, we've got to remember is that we predict ourselves into our futures. So we really need to be careful what we are seeing in our futures. If we see something in our future that makes us frightened, it's bad, then we need to take a good solid look at that and say, what could I change before I go down that path? And I have seen it because I have taken different paths. And by seeing the different paths, like, whoa, this path could be this bad. And I don't want to go down this path. I want a different, better path. I am a different person than I was when I first saw this, like having apocalyptic nightmares. That's not uncommon, especially if our lives have been disrupted early. So apocalyptic nightmares are a part of our, human psychology. But how bad these dreams are and if they could recur or if, they change over time, it depends on the decisions that we make. If we believe that apocalyptic future is ours for real, we will manifest it in whatever is convenient at the time, whether it's a real apocalyptic event or whether it's just personal apocalyptic events. So we have to be careful about that. It's like this place that I'm at. I knew as soon as I saw the apartment number that this was going to be where I was going to be. Yes, exactly. Because we are doing it with every part of our being. Right? It's thoughts, our feelings, our thoughts and feelings, they keep getting together. Our biology cooperates and all of it works together. So we have to be very careful. What did I say about moving? Oh, I don't know if you heard that one because I said when I thought I was going to be moving in October, right? And I thought last November, I thought November 1st, I was going to get come on, it's time to move. Because I picked this place out in October. So I was waiting all winter. But what did I say? I said, you watch, I'll get to move in the worst part of winter. That's when they'll finally call me. Sure as shit. It was the literal worst part of winter. It was literally when we got the worst temperatures, the worst wind, and the most snow and ice. The very week of all of that crap was when it all happened, and I ended up moving in February. So we have to be careful what we say and what we are thinking, because sometimes we just put something out there and we don't realize, if we don't stop and correct it, that it's put out. And because especially when you become an experienced manifester, you assume that you're going to just put this out there and it's going to return. No thought returns void. So, because the universe will not tolerate a void or a vacuum. So we create a vacuum with these desires and things get sucked into them. But what is a desire? It's whatever we're expressing. The universe assumes that is the desire, even if in truth, when we think about it, we don't desire a lot of things we think about, obviously. I didn't want to move in the worst part of winter, but that's exactly how it worked out with even my help. Even my help was not available, because when we thought I was moving in November, at the worst December, the people who were available became unavailable for January and February, with needing surgeries, getting COVID, all of this, car going in the garage. It's like, I have no help. And then winter, traveling in winter, impossible. So, yeah. We have to be not threatened by our thoughts, but aware, so we can alter them in time. There was an apocalyptic connected dream to this building, and I knew it when I saw the carpeting on the 4th floor. And that's exactly what I'm doing. Exactly what I'm doing. It is a hard step. I had to actually write a letter to one of my sisters and say goodbye. Said, I cannot have anything to do with you anymore unless you are able to understand what you're doing to me, and we can talk about it. I cannot take the chance of being entrusting you with anything in my life. And that was the last thing I ever thought I would be saying to this person, one of my favorite people in the world. Then I realized, like, whoa. It was extremely difficult. I thought about it very hard, but it was 4 horrible things that she did to me over this course of 4 years that were already horrible, because I was in survival mode. Even though I recognized them happening at the time, I was not in a position to deal with them. It had to be like, you know what, this is just more emotional shit I can't deal with right now. I'm in survival mode. So I had to just keep putting those aside. And then finally the 4th one happened. And when that happened, I snapped. It was like, at that point, it was like I was already more firm in myself again. It was like, well, I know who I am again. I know where I'm going this time. I'm good. I'm happy without my ex-husband, blah, blah, blah. It was like I had to go through all of that shit. So after all of that, I was able to see more clearly what I was dealing with. And what I was dealing with was a sister who was dangerously passive-aggressive with me and really good at throwing me under the bus because of her own anger. Not anger toward me, at least not obviously, just anger in general. Well, thank you. And I am stronger because I have become more resilient, and so are you, by the way. You have become much more resilient over the last 2 or 3 years, not having nothing to do with COVID or anything of that. It's all about you and the adjustments that you're making and recognizing this needs to be out of my life. It's not good for me. This is slowing my progress because I'm every time I deal with this, it wakes this up in me, or it does this, it re-traumatizes. And I'm at that point. It's like, you know what? This was my best friend for so many years, but this best friend has problems that I'm tired of dealing with, and I'm just going to kind of phase away from that. And my sister though needed a direct, this is why I am doing this. If you understand what you did, and you're very smart, so I know you understand what you did. But she did exactly what I expected, was deflect, and, it's like, it's never her fault. It's like, yeah, I'm not even going there. And it's not easy, because you love people, and when you love someone, it's really hard to say goodbye. But it's harder to feel the love when you realize how much damage they've done. Like, wait a minute, you keep saying you love me, but then you keep shooting me in the fucking heart. And every time you do that, something bad happens to me, and nothing happens at all to you. So, not that I want something bad to happen to you, but stop fucking with me. I mean, what did I do to deserve this? So it was that I had to face. It's like, whoa. Oh, there you go. Yeah, right down to the hair, right? I couldn't, when I was with Glenn, I couldn't cut my hair, and I couldn't put blue in it, which he knew I wanted blue in my hair since I was 7 years old. And it finally became like a thing people were doing, and it wouldn't look so weird. But even then, and it's, when I do something now because I want to, it's like, yeah, it's very liberating when I think, oh, I couldn't do that all these years. I couldn't just go cut my damn hair because I'm sweating to death from menopause, because he doesn't like women with short hair. And I don't want my husband to not be attracted to me anymore. So, believe me, sweetie, our strength is earned through our experiences. That's why we become resilient, because we get shot at so many times. We finally say, you know what? I see you still have that gun in your hand, and I'm not going to stand here and let you blow a toe off. Fuck you. I'm out of here. And then you just go, and you realize it's a lot easier to walk without somebody shooting your toes off. And I feel like, yeah, there are periods like, I really miss that person. I think, yeah, I miss that part of them. But then when I really think about it, it's like, what I really miss is what we had 30 years ago, or what I miss is what we used to do. But then we have years and years of no normal communication, and no real friendship, no new experiences, nothing to build on. It's like we had the foundation, but then it just stopped growing. After a while, you've got to make a decision. It's like, do you want to keep growing? My answer for myself was, yeah. Because the thing I keep hearing in my head is, I don't know how much time I have left. I'm 68 years old. Let's face it, physically I've got some challenges, and although some are like not going to be that bad, a lot of other stuff is like not really surmountable. So, do I want to waste my time trying to make people who are basically getting on my nerves anyway like me better or be nicer to me? Because they always end up being exactly the same. Yeah, good. Because it's how it is, right? It's really, they just keep blowing your toes off. Then they say, well, how come you're not following me? When are you coming to visit? Well, you shot my fucking toes off. I don't know if I want to visit you. Like, what do you do with someone like, I love you so much, but if you want to see me, you're going to have to come visit me, and I haven't been in your house in 30 years. Like, exactly, you need them toes. We have to preserve our own feet. Well, I love, there's a part of me will always love my family. It's not like I suddenly got overwhelmed with hatred or something. It was just purely, I have to survive, and I want to enjoy my last years. However, maybe I'll be really fortunate and I'll get at least a decade. I'm aiming for at least 10 more years. But if I'm deprived of that goal of 10 more years, I don't want to feel like I'm wasting any of those, whatever time I have. Trying to make someone kinder to me, or nicer to me, or considerate, or thoughtful, or any of the things that I deserve.
because I'm a nice person and I do nice things for people when I can. And I always think good things about people and I pray for them and I light candles for them. And that's the real me. My favorite flower. Oh my God. Well, actually, I love carnations. Oh yeah, same here, Maui. Sometimes that's a thing to stay sane. You stay away from family because the first challenges we all get are from within our family. So our first challenges are always. So once we're adult, we've got to think about that. Lorena, there's so many flowers. When I think of what looks beautiful, well, mostly when I think of favorite flowers, I go by smell because I love the smell of carnations. Or sweet williams also because they're very spicy. A spicy carnation is a turn on for me. Love them. But when I look at beautiful things also as well as smell, I love freesia. Freesia is such a wonderful fragrance. Honeysuckle. Oh my God, honeysuckle is like magical. The most heavenly flower I have ever smelled in my life. One that when it's in bloom, you feel like you're floating in heaven, and that's orange blossoms or any citrus blossoms, lemon trees in bloom, lime trees in bloom, orange trees in bloom. Oh my goodness, yes. Out of this world. I mean, it makes you feel like you're out of this world. That's what orange blossoms do for me. But one of my favorite flowers is actually Hawaiian. Maui, what is it called again? You know which one I'm talking about. It looks like feathers. Does it begin with a P? I never remember it for some reason. I don't know why. Every once in a great while, the name will pop back into my head. But I've had a problem remembering it from the very first time I saw it. It's an awesome one to draw. It's a challenge to draw. If you see some of them, because they're all a little different. When I first saw them, they looked like, I thought they were pine cones made out of feathers. I didn't know they were real flowers. I thought that somebody had crafted them together. You call it the feather plant. I think the flower begins with a P. I always want to say plumeria, but that's not at all plumeria. Opposite. Plumeria is also a very pretty, delicate flower that smells really good, but it's nothing like the feather flower. Yeah, I'm not good with flowers. But that one would be a hell of a challenge. And you are way better than me with stuff like that. I bet you could do it. But we got to find the real name for it. You showed me a photograph of it, I believe. Wasn't it a photo? And I said, that's my favorite flower. No, it's not a grass. Protea. That's it. King Protea. I knew the P. Yeah, look up Protea. Images for Protea, because there's a variety of them. And oh my goodness, they are just amazing. Especially if you see them before they open up all the way. At different stages, they have totally different looks. They're so cool. I don't remember them having a fragrance, though. Do they have a fragrance? Usually when I've seen them, it's been in like a big display where there's lots of other kinds of flowers around and can't be sure. Isn't that a bizarre flower? And they last a long time like a dried flower. You'd think they're fake. Matter of fact, I think you can dry them out. Yeah, they're just astonishing. So I'd say that's one of my favorites. Just, but I would like to have some that will, dry because they're so cool. And you don't, because they're such they're just overwhelming. You only need a couple or three of them. It fills a vase. Although I've seen displays, they were meant to impress people at the Los Angeles Fair. They had big flower displays that were very, very mind-blowing. But yeah, protea. I don't know why I can never remember the damn name. Because you can never forget the flower once you've seen it. I remember going into this place and it was a big display and I'm standing right next to it. Like this. I'm looking at this and it's like, what the hell is that? How did they make that? This is amazing. I was convinced that somebody had crafted those flowers. I was looking at some clever thing of wood, chips, and feathers. Yes, get some sleep. Namaste. Sleep well. Yes. Well, I hope to be on more. I'm going to start doing the rock houses as soon as I'm all set up. Much love to you, sweetie. I'm looking down at the chat up here. Sweet dreams. And remember, just ask for a hug when you're there and you can't sleep. Just say, Dad, I need you. Give me a hug. And then relax. You'll feel it. You'll just go out. Ooh. A laurel protea, and yeah, they're mind-blowing, Maui. They're just amazing. That looks so cute. See, the love. That's what I'm in for. We've got some stripes here. We're going to need some more stripes there. I guess they should be purple. But we're running low on this purple. No, but it does need to match that, doesn't it? Oh well. Oh, cool. Oh my God. All right. When I see you on, if I'm awake, definitely. That's too cool. I definitely have to see that. I am working on turning my penis project into NFTs. And the rainbows to help raise money for gay and women's causes. Yes, you go to get some sleep. I'll be back. We'll catch up some more. Uh-oh. Okay, the black ink is not thoroughly dry. We're going to have to stop working on that one. That's a no-no. I really am surprised at that. Yeah. Huh. All right, well. We don't want excess smearing. We will get another piece of paper. Yep. There it is. I really like this paper. Mostly what I like is it's pre-cut. It was nice to have 100 sheets at once. Also nice to know I can order them again. Okay. This is the front. Uh-oh. I have take my medicine. I'll be back in a minute. Let me go put this in the sink. My room looks so cozy. I'm rich and I don't know it. I think you are rich in your own ways, like we all are. But if you don't recognize your own gifts, then you will be poor for the rest of your life. No matter how much money you have. Okay. Oh, yes. Sure. Drop it. Boy, no matter how much I sweep, I always find one more little piece of cardboard or something. Right where I thought I was all done. And I broke down a mountain of cardboard boxes. You would be impressed by what I did with my little self. Today's Sunday, right? We need to count our wealth, Maui. What makes us wealthy? What makes us rich? Because in what made me happy my entire life, I have never been able to say being wealthy, money-wise, has been one of the things that made me happy. Because I was not in charge when we were rich. I didn't have anything to do with the money. And I wasn't aware we were rich. You know? It wasn't like we moved or something. My father actually got rich after the divorce. Not before it. Well, good. Well, you can't give away your worthiness. You can't give away who you are, but you can share your gifts. So your friend is back on her own island? Oh, you're worth more than that. You all have a good time visiting other people? If I count in my worth by what I gave to other people financially, I would be worth nothing. Because I've very rarely been in a position where I could give away money.
Ah. So, are you happy that it was a short visit? Or would you have liked it to be longer? I saved these for tonight. It's too late to have any more cookies or any more tea, but I can finish these. Only 2 left. Yeah, some things are best that way. Short. There are several people I can think of that, yeah, 2 days together is plenty. Time in between. Are you kidding me? She wants you to go to China with her? Or take over things while she goes away? I'm surprised anybody's going to China right now. Why is anybody traveling right now? It's insane. Go with her to China. Whoa. That's something. Is she paying your way? I mean, if she's paying your way, she definitely wants you to be her helper and will expect that. Oh, I think the bottom line is her brother has it, huh? That's nice. Do you want to go to China with her? After being glad that it was a short visit? Oh no, Maui. Got a bad feeling to that one. Yeah. Or get left there. I have to deal with her. I don't know. How much of Asia do you really think you're going to see on somebody else's dime?
whatever she sees, I guess. Well, you got someone to take care of your cat, trustworthy, then that's true. You probably would only be able to see Asia with somebody that can pay for it, because let's face it, on retirement you ain't going anywhere like that. That's a lot of money. Very expensive place. Oh, that'd be cool. See how fast you were on your feet. That's a fast moving freaking city. But like I said, as long as you have money. My question is, what would happen if the two of you got accidentally separated and you don't speak the language and nobody can get you back together? Then what the fuck are you going to do? I realize that sounds bizarre, but that's not the only kind of crazy things that happen when you go off with people if they're the ones holding the wallet. Because that takes away your power. You can't just go, I'm sick of this, or oh my God, I'm lost and I need to be able to pay for a taxi back to the hotel. If you don't have that card to cover the taxi or the money to cover the taxi and you get separated, that would be panic attack time in a different country. But bigger than that is you were happy that she only had a short visit. And if you were left feeling confused about all of that in the conversations, then that's not a good thing either. Well, I know they are to some degree because my stepmother used to get clothing made in Hong Kong. Very expensive, heavily beaded silk and beaded clothing. And they'll fit it right there in the store. Fast. So they spoke enough English to deal with that back in the day. That was in the 60s. So I would say probably even better now. Unless somebody wants to act dumb when they want to take you for a ride. And yes, I do get paranoid about things because it's a matter of control. I do not like feeling that someone else calls the shots. I see. And she can't do that with her brother, who has the money? And doesn't he want to see the family for the last time? Well, Maui, you have been around the world.
You know, I mean, not all the world, but you have seen more than the average person because of the military. You spent some time in Germany, right? So you know how to travel. The question is the company. Do you want to see her relatives there? Well, I like this frame. I just haven't decided what to put inside it. So when is she talking about going? Hmm. Well, is this woman your girlfriend or just a friend? But again, the question is if it's her brother that's got the money and her brother would have to pay your fare because you don't have the money to go to Asia. Hmm. Well, it sounds like she's looking someone to use as a companion to protect her while she's abroad. Yeah. So, well, Molly, it's a matter of she's just a friend, so it's not an emotional thing. So the question again comes down to if she wants to see relatives and her brother is the one with the money, why is her brother not going with her to also see relatives? Because you're not her boyfriend. So if I'm going to spring for someone else's ticket, there's going to have to be some kind of a deal. It's going to have to be a relationship of some kind. Why would I pay for someone else to come with me unless I either cared very much about them or I needed them to perform a service? You're too old for the military and they wouldn't take you. You're retired and you would have need of the VA. What would they do with you if you wanted to join the military again? Why would you join the military? You've already been through that. I see. So she wants to fly and he wants to cruise. Is that it? If you joined the military at your age, where do you think they're going to put you?
They're not going to ship you all over the place because people are an investment, and you're an old investment. If they gave you any kind of gig in the military, it would be behind a desk because they can't afford to have you more injured with anything. I see. And flying would be faster than cruising. So is he going to go see the relatives also at some point? Just not with her? Is that where you want to be? I don't even think they'd take you off your island. You have injuries. You have a bad back. So they wouldn't have you carrying anything. And don't you in the military have to be able to, like, at least carry one of your partner soldiers in case of an emergency or an injury? Nobody left behind. I don't think they would put you anywhere that there was a chance of you getting hurt. Worse than you are right now. That would just be, that'd be a bad investment. What makes you so sure of that? Have they tried to get you to re-enlist? Aren't you like 60 now? Which is not an insult. I'm 8 years older than you at the least. Yeah, and once the young, impetuous people with strong backs and a willingness to fight and die. They don't want older people, especially if you've left. I mean, they have to find places for you if you refuse to retire. They will keep you going, but you already left the military. And you've had problems getting help from the VA. And that's with them trying to back you up. They're not going to use you. I doubt that they would accept your application. They want kids. Impetuous, stupid kids. And the problems that you experienced in the American military are worse now than when you were in the military. They can call you back in case our country gets attacked on our own shores. At your age, they're not going to call you up and send you to, like, the Ukraine. Yeah, that's this thing you sign, you know, that they can call you back. That's like being in the reserves. Once you sign up, you are signed up. But they're not going to call you. They want people who can fight. They don't want anybody who's got a bad back or any kind of pain or needs any kind of physical therapy or medication. Once you leave, you're out. Once you want to go back, they don't even want people who are in their 30s unless they have special skills like translators or, good with technology. It's just a matter of they don't think of you as a person. They think of you as a tool who specialize in areas, right?
who specialize in areas, but what is your specialty? And how old? Old guys. They don't waste money if they can avoid it. Well, no, I can't say that. They waste a lot of fucking money. But when it comes to personnel, you're only going to get called back if there's nobody else there who's younger to take the job. Of course, if you are very well experienced, I don't know what that translates to. And by the way, when I'm saying this, I'm not saying you're useless at all. Well, there you go. But basically, doing nothing. Keep your ears out. Keep your eyes open. If you see anything, let us know. But what is 11 Mike? Well, Alaska right now, I would imagine that they're keeping an eye on there because of its proximity to Russia. So, is that a foot soldier in a tank? Don't know what it is. Excuse me. Well, that sounds like something that they teach a lot of people how to do, right? Since that's something anybody can be called into or might be called to have to do in case of an emergency. So basically, that's not something they would call on you to do at this point. Unless it was like suicidal and they were looking for, well, expendable people. And I would hate to think of you that way. But if you were running the military, you wouldn't hire you right now either. Not if you're being honest. As if you wanted to win a battle, you would be looking for the youngest, fittest, angry young people. Someone who's got all the energy for all that shit. Yep. So a lot of people are trained to do that. Cannon fodder, as it was called in the old days, in the old Greek and Roman days. Cannon fodder. People's children were cannon fodder. I can't think of you that way, Maui. I would like to think that you're too smart to do that at this point. Why would you become part of the machine if you could avoid it? And I don't see how that connects with you going to China. Because it's not an either or. So you can see Asia. Because if you join the military, odds of you going to Asia are minuscule if they took you off. We're not going to be having war. And why would you be called in if war hits off with Russia? You're not a young man. They wouldn't fly you out there to fight in the Ukraine. If there was a war that came to our shores, then it would be every man on deck. So yeah, there. But aside from that, there should be no reason for you to be called for that. If it got that bad, we'd be talking about things that we can't redeem ourselves from. I wouldn't even think in that direction. But in any case, joining the military is not comparable with taking a vacation to Hong Kong. And if you can't go to Hong Kong on vacation, you're not going there in the military. So there's no connection there at all. And if war was with Russia, why would you go to Asia? They're not going to send you to China. So if you want to go see Hong Kong, then you're going to have to get real clear on the details with this friend of yours. How much? Who's paying? How secure is this for me? Obviously, if Hawaii was being attacked, you're there. You would be expected to take up arms. Right now, though, you're like in retirement heaven, in a safe place, other than weather. So I would hope that you would cherish that time and not be too eager to go back into a situation that caused you so much emotional pain. I know one of the things that are in high demand is translators, people who can speak, multiple languages. I'm out. That sucks.
Well, Russia is not doing very well with their military supplies, are they? They're in terrible shape. Expired rations, things falling apart from disrepair because the oligarchs siphoned off the money for their yachts. So the rich got richer, the poor got poorer, and so did the military. So, interesting. So thank goodness you're not in Germany right now. Anyway, don't you think we should be talking about something a little bit more cheerful than potentials for war? Because if that's where your emotions and your thoughts keep going, you don't want to attract that kind of vibration into your life at this point, do you?
Trees that live back in here. There they are. There's one.
Hey. I'm trying to get this to be silent. Well, 40 miles of tanks sounds like more than the reserves. If you're in search of peace, then you should not be thinking about war. Because the universe does not know you're thinking of peace or seeking peace if you're talking and thinking and feeling about your past in the military. You don't want to attract that into your life. You've been there, done that already. Let it go. You want to go to Hong Kong, then focus on that. And think of happy things that you could discover there. Or a good time you'll have with this woman. And if you cannot imagine having a good time with this woman, that's your cue not to go in that direction. Don't go. Come up with something else, another plan, another opportunity. If you attracted that opportunity, that means your law of attraction is working for you. Continue to look for those opportunities. Continue to attract them until you get the right, best one, not just the first one that comes up. If you don't like being around this woman, imagine being trapped with her for a week or more. On a super long flight, back and forth, sharing a hotel room probably, even separate rooms. You're going to have to be in touch constantly. Traveling companions. If you're not there here, it ain't going to work here. And whatever you get out of it, the price will be too high. What, the war or a trip to Hong Kong? The war is impossible to completely ignore because, yes, it's on the news. And friends send you articles? Yeah, I imagine. Because it's like the biggest thing going on right now. If you want peace, Maui, that's the predominant feeling that you need to practice feeling. You have to practice what it is you want to feel. The war is completely disruptive, of course. However, for all practical purposes, if you want to avoid this, you can sit this one out. You don't have to be dragged in. And even the military, even if they were up to people your age, they would still find a way to overlook you if that's where your brain is. But if you believe that you're going to end up getting pulled into it, that's what will happen one way or another. Or you will just keep disrupting your own peace, thinking about it, even if it leads to nothing. So you, in this case, are actually the most exempt. You've done your time in the service. You have felt those threats. You have paid your dues. You don't have to start a new account to pay off all over again. It's done. You're in a safe place right now. I mean, literally one of the safest places in terms of where you have to get involved with. So I would cherish that safety and make a cocoon of peace around you, because this is what you've earned. And no matter what the rest of the world is doing, remember that it doesn't mean you have to get emotionally tied into it. It doesn't have to be your reality unless you invite it in. So if you don't want to invite that in, you don't have to. You don't have to feel bad about it. You don't have to take responsibility for it. You can do what we do energetically when you want to help. Send the invisible hands over. Help energetically by seeing peace, by seeing the war ending, by seeing the good stuff that you want to see. If you see it up here, it'll start to come out this way. But if you see yourself being drawn in, you go into that darkness, you're building a future you don't really want. So don't do it. Substitute better feeling thoughts every time you get yourself caught. I have to do the same thing. My focus is keeping Zelensky safe and not letting Kyiv fall. That's my focus. I want to see the row of machinery that is stuck on the roads. I want to see them stuck. I want to see them not able to move. So I'm thinking like that. I'm sending energy over because that's the only thing I can do. I'm not going to go fight. It's not my war. I physically couldn't do it even if they came to the shore. What am I going to do? My walking stick, I'll swing at them, huh? There are realities that I'm aware of, and I'm not going to get involved in certain levels because I can't. But I can use energy, and I can send love energy. I can use energy, and that's what I'm doing. So I am doing my part, but without endangering my physical being, because it's not necessary. That is not my thing. And it's not yours either if you don't want it to be. If you let people make you feel like you're supposed to feel responsibility or you're supposed to be ready on no, that's their shit, putting it on you. You've already paid your dues. You've already done your time. No more. You don't have to be embroiled anymore. It's a choice. Energetically first. And reality will follow that. As sure as I predicted I'd be moving in the worst part of winter. So, where do you want to predict yourself into next? Vacation? Fun? Just peace and quiet while everything else just fades away? Wait for another opportunity that makes you feel good? You attracted an opportunity. But just because you attract an opportunity doesn't mean it's one that you need to take, should take, or it's the best one to take. But you're on the right road attracting the opportunities. Excuse me. So you're succeeding with that. You're on the right road. Now fine tune it. Where do you really want the road to go? Excuse me. Wow. We have 16 bots in our chat. 16. Anyway, it is 9 p.m. for me. It is time for me to go. We will continue tomorrow. Tomorrow is Monday. So Maui, put a better feeling thought in your head and try to hold on to those better feeling thoughts for the rest of the day. And let your thoughts relax and pay attention to your feelings when you think about something. When you think about being with this woman for an extended period of time in a situation where you cannot escape, you can't like say, okay, I'm done for the day, I'm going home. You're stuck with it. So if you feel uncomfortable in your physical body when you think about being stuck with this woman for a week or two in a strange place, as exciting as it is to go to the strange place, the payment emotionally may not actually be worth it. So you need to check out, how are you really feeling? Did you attract just the basic first adventure and now you need to hone that and attract another adventure? You didn't expect her to pop up with this idea. You didn't know that was coming. And then out of the blue, this idea comes up, right? You didn't say, hey, why don't you go to Hong Kong and take me with you? Don't you want to see some relatives before it's too late? That wasn't you, it was her. So it's the first offer that comes with the adventure idea, the idea that you need something more and exciting in your life, something more to do. Great. Maybe you need an adventure, but maybe this is not the best one for you at this time. You've got to take into consideration all of your circumstances. When is the right time to go? I'm not saying don't be spontaneous, but at our age, it's harder to recover from spontaneity if it means a lot of rearranging of our lives. So you need to look before you leap, that's all. You don't want her shooting your toes off either. You don't want to end up coming back going, God, why did I do that? I'm going to have nightmares about this for a fucking month. That bitch. No, or she could end up being awesome. I mean, again, you got to go with your gut feelings. I'm not trying to talk you out of an adventure. If this is really where you want to go, but I have a bad feeling about it personally, only because this is like, this woman is somebody you're glad to see go. A short visit was fine. It was enough for you. That might indicate that you don't really feel comfortable being around her for a long period of time. And sometimes what you can get out of it is not worth it in the end. The price becomes too high. And, you know, there's just some people, I can like them just fine, but I don't want to get stuck with them. I don't want to find myself, in a weird situation where like, oh, you mean this thing you didn't mention at all in our preparation for going, and now we're here and it's too late to change it, and you didn't tell me you were thinking in this direction, or you thought of that, or this was blah, 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 blah. And also just as I hate to say it, but as a man from our generation, all right, having somebody else pay our way is fine in certain circumstances. But if we don't have a way to stand on our own at the same time, like, sure, I can go to New York, but I can go to New York knowing that, okay, I'm invited to stay at an apartment for the weekend. I don't have to worry about the overhead. I don't have to worry about my food. I don't have to worry about, renting a hotel room. But I have to be able to do that knowing that in my pocket is a debit card that I can pull out and get a train back to where I live or buy food or do whatever I have to on my own in case there was a misunderstanding, or maybe they have a lot of food at their house, but I can't stand any of it and I need to go buy myself a little something. I mean, all of that. Oh, yeah, I understand. But again, it's like you have to weigh it out emotionally, because when you end up with somebody else calling the shots, that's the problem. If they're calling the shots, it may not really be where you want to go or see what you really want to see. And if you're not paying, then that other person controls the situation. If they're not a girlfriend, if they're not emotionally involved, then they've got no obligation to do anything that you want to do at all, because they paid your way so you could accompany them. So they weren't insecure and alone because, you're a guy. So I can see where she would want you to go with her as a friend and kind of a bodyguard. Also schlepping things that she gets tired of carrying. So it's going to be like all of the work of being a husband or a boyfriend without any of the benefits. So keep that in mind as well. And if it included benefits, it could make it even worse. So, yeah, you need to weigh this out from stem to stern before you say, oh, sure, I'll get my passport in order. Get caught up on my vaccinations or whatever I have to do. Well, every day is a way of rolling the dice anyway, right? So you can give it to the universe and say, if this is going to be to my benefit and I'm really going to enjoy this trip, then let it proceed. But if it turns out that this is not going to be what I'm hoping and I'm not going to really enjoy it, then let something come up and stop it. Let the universe do it. And you don't have to say anything. Let the universe basically take it away. It'll remove the offer or change it in a way that you will know right away it's a yes or a no. So ask for the universe to show you the way. You don't have to think it all out by yourself, but you do have to weigh other stuff. The universe will back you in any direction you go, but if you're looking for joy, and the universe mostly wants to give you joy, again, it's what you're feeling. How do you feel about this woman for real? It's a mutual usury arrangement. So, you can live with that because you're thinking of all the photos that you could take and getting to see a place that you've never seen before, which is cool. So if it's not going to work out for your side, you have to have the universe let you know that before you make a mistake and waste time and energy. When if you wait, there might be something even better and more suitable for you that comes up. It might not be Hong Kong. It might be someplace else. Awesome, photo-worthy, exciting. So the fact that this came up at all means that you're energetically already working in the good direction. So now you just need to fine-tune it to what you really need and want. And you can ask for all of it. Don't limit it. Like, well, if I get this, I really don't need that, or I shouldn't feel bad if I can't get. No, you want it to be like perfect.
Let the universe know everything it takes for it to be perfect for you. Don't worry about the other people. It's their obligation with the universe to decide what they want. You decide what you want. Let the universe answer. It'll either go, this is a good place to do it, and this is the means. There she is. Or it'll be, she's not quite what you're looking for. You're going to, I think we're going to make this one unavailable to you, and that way you're free to contemplate other potentials. So the universe will back you up. So you're making progress. At least you can look at this and go, look what I attracted. I wanted something different. I wanted an adventure. I wanted some friendship. Ta-da! Something happened and opportunities popped up. Doesn't mean you take the first ones or have to. Work with the universe and get the answers. And I will go off to get ready for bed. So, Maui, thank you for hanging out with me. I'm sure that in the end you will make the best decisions, or the universe will back you up by removing whatever temptation might take you off your safer and better path, assuming there is one. So, trust and ask. Detailed. Ask for exactly what it is you want. That's the universe is constantly saying, ask. Tell me what you want. Tell me what you want. What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? Because it's a big freaking universe. That's a lot what it looks like. Not quite, but very much like that is our home. Very much like that. So considering the vastness of what's available, when we remove the fear of dying and realize that we can die anywhere, anytime, what the hell? You can drop dead anywhere. Doesn't take any labor to die. It's labor to stay alive. So you'll do what you want in the end. You'll be waiting a long time. That's like waiting for the lottery numbers to come to you in a dream. I just took them off the fortune cookie. Well, sweet dreams. I'll see you tomorrow if you're around.